Why are we not taught the skill of listening when we're at school? We're always told we should be listening, but it's very rare that we're actually taught how we can be a good listener. So, number 1, show encouragement. One of the most basic parts of being a good listener is communicating to the speaker that we actually want to hear what they are saying. We need them to know that the conversation is important and valued, and that we care about what they have to say. Some tips for communicating this are: face the speaker and maintain eye contact. Enough so that they know that you are listening, but not overboard so they feel intimidated. Don't interrupt and resist the urge to jump in immediately to respond. Show them that you're listening through nodding, and show that you're paying attention or by making affirmative noises. Recognize, acknowledge, and honor their feelings, for example, by saying things like, "That must have been really hard," or "That sounds tough." Number 2, listen with curiosity. Good listening means being able to have a degree of empathy. That means that you're doing a form of stepping into their shoes and getting clarity on what they're saying. When you're in a conversation, one way to avoid slipping into the trap of thinking exclusively about yourself is to get really curious. This means listening without judgment or jumping to conclusions. Ask questions in a gentle way without interrogating. Listen to learn with an open-heartedness and without assuming that you know the answers. It's helpful to practice the techniques of giving them the benefit of the doubt by assuming that if you'd been in their shoes, you would have come to the same conclusion. So try to reverse engineer your way into understanding, and that's a great way of avoiding the temptation of jumping to conclusions or judging them for what they're saying. Reflect back by confirming your understanding and to help them to clarify their position. When I work with my couples, I teach them to check in at the end of reflecting back to their partner by saying, "Am I with you?" This then gives their partner an opportunity to add anything they may have missed. Number 3, tune in. In order to stay present to what they're saying, tune in to what they're really trying to communicate. A lot of our communication happens between the lines, in the things that are not said, or in the way in which things are said. So ask questions that are meaningful in the context of what they're talking about and what you want to know about them. So listen to the non-verbal cues of body language and pay attention to what's not being said too. Number 4, maintain presence and focus. It takes a lot of focus in conversation not to drift into your own inner dialogue, and to be a good listener you need to develop the skill of active listening. This means that you don't start planning what to say next by staying focused on what they are saying. You don't assume that you know what they're going to say next or what they are trying to communicate to you, but instead use your curiosity to guide you towards understanding what they are saying. You make an effort to remember what they are saying. This is also a helpful way of ensuring that you're staying present. You're not afraid of moments of silence, and you have the patience to allow them their time for the story to take shape. Number 5, you respect boundaries, and respecting boundaries always goes in a two-way direction, that you must respect your own boundaries and then also respect the boundaries of others. Taking responsibility for your own thoughts, feelings, and actions means that you don't think you can mind read. That is not true empathy, and it's a boundary-breaking behavior. Avoid enmeshment. Don't advise, act as a therapist, or impose your opinions or solutions on others. If someone explicitly asks you for your advice or opinions, then you can, of course, offer your perspective, as long as you ensure that you have no attachment to the outcome of whether or not they decide to follow your solution. Be responsive to cues about what someone is comfortable sharing with you. Don't overstep a boundary by pushing them into disclosing something they may not feel comfortable about. Be careful that you don't undermine their right to their own interpretation of their experiences and feelings by reflexively comparing what they're talking about to your own equivalent. This again is a boundary-breaking behavior and a form of belittling what they're trying to tell you. Are on occasion it may be appropriate, but make sure that this is done with care and in a responsive rather than a reactive way. Number 6, follow up afterwards. If you want to show that you care and you've really heard what they have said, take the time to follow up afterwards. When you do this, you might want to remember some of the details that you've retained from before, and then check in on the outcomes. Again, remembering to do this without attachments, and that you're ensuring that you are being sensitive to whether or not they want to talk about the subject again. If you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. You'll find lots more helpful explanations, tools, and tips which can be of real value for mastering relationship skills. I love sharing my tools and tips and guidance with you and supporting you on your journey to thriving relationships. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video so we can continue to travel this path together.